What is up, everybody? Here with the 50th shelf of my action movie collection, starting with Annapolis with James Franco and Tyrese Gibson. This is a very good military boxing movie. Lots of personal character issues and things of that nature, all coming together. Showing none of the characters are perfect or goody goodies or anything like that. Everyone's got flaws. But the ending and the fight scenes in this movie are absolutely fantastic. Donnie Wahlberg, also very underrated in this movie, in my opinion. Worth checking out if you haven't seen it before. Very happy to own it. Then we have Poseidon, which is one of my favorite disaster movies. Wolfgang Petersen was the perfect director for this movie. I wish they would remake The Towering Inferno. With him as the director, but that won't happen. But if anyone would have been the great director for it, it would have been him, because this movie was absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to have to upgrade this to 4K whenever that comes out. Hopefully it'll be soon. Then we have The Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, and Edward Norton, along with Jason Statham and a bunch of others. Boy, it shows how well Charlize Theron and Mark Wahlberg age here, but they look the exact same pretty much as they did in this movie. And this movie's phenomenal. Absolutely no complaints about this one. Then we have State of Play with Russell Crowe and Ben Affleck. A great political thriller of kind of like what's really going on. You don't know what's 100% going on to the very end, which I love those types of movies. An amazing director as well with Kevin McDonald. Billy Ray's really good at writing those complex storylines as well, so very solid movie. Then we have Vertical Limit. Great action movie, Martin Campbell, an amazing director. I mean, I guess if anyone was going to direct the Towering Inferno remake, it would be Martin Campbell maybe, because he seems to prop up any movie he does direct and make it very, very good. And this one is probably obviously the best mountain climbing movie I've seen, maybe even better than Cliffhanger in my opinion. Then we have The Recruit with Al Pacino and Colin Farrell. Al Pacino at his best, same with Colin Farrell in this movie. One of those complex movies again that you don't really know what's going on to the very end, with an amazing cast. We can't do better than Al Pacino in his prime here. Then we have 3:10 to Yuma with James Mangold directing it. Usually not a fan of Western movies, but this movie is absolutely phenomenal with these two actors and this director. It looks like $1 million on screen. It keeps you hooked from the minute you start watching it. You need to check this out if you haven't seen it before. I heard the original is pretty good, but I have not seen that. So maybe I'll have to check that out eventually. I mean, comment down below if you have seen the original and if it's worth checking out or not. Then we have Air Force One, directed by Wolfgang Petersen, who directed Poseidon. And an absolutely phenomenal movie. Again, felt like $1 million on the screen. Absolutely fantastic cast. Mixed with, Die Hard in a way, terrorism and action and all that stuff makes it very fun to watch. Then we have Don't Say a Word with Michael Douglas. Huge Michael Douglas fan, especially when he was in his prime, and he was right in the heart of his prime right here in my opinion. And absolutely phenomenal kind of thriller, murder, hostage kind of weird thing going on. I mean, it's hard to describe. You kind of have to watch it. Then we have 12 Rounds with John Cena. John Cena is not the best actor in the world. When he is in the right role, he's phenomenal. Mainly comedy movies. He's phenomenal at comedy movies. 12 Rounds was fun, though. Rennie Harlan did a great job directing this movie. Again, another one of those action directors who's underrated, who maybe should have directed Expendables 4 instead of the guy they got. Oh my god, as he doesn't know old school action at all, as to where Rennie Harlan is really good at it, having directed Die Hard 2. Then we have Firewall with Harrison Ford and Paul Bettany. Phenomenal movie. Again, you know, kind of a throwback to old school action mixed with new school cyber terrorism, or cyber burglary, I should say. But very fun movie, worth watching. Then we have 21. Probably one of the best Kevin Spacey movies I've seen. I love this movie. I go back and watch it every year. Great director as well. An amazing young cast. Interesting story, gambling in Vegas, and you know casinos hate when you steal their money, so that's what makes this movie even more interesting. Not a huge Jim Sturgis fan, but he delivers in this movie. Then we have Mindhunters. This was a straight-to-DVD release, but it's turned out to be extremely, extremely good, especially with Val Kilmer and Christian Slater in it. And one of those kind of you don't know what's going on to the very end movies again, which I said I absolutely love. Then we have Flight Plan with Jodie Foster. This one was okay. It wasn't the greatest. Red Eye was better, and they both came out in the same year, which seems to be a thing with studios. They seem to compete against each other to get the same type of movie out the same year. And this one had the higher budget and the bigger named cast, but Red Eye was the better story and the better gripping movie. So it is what it is. It's still a solid movie. Then we have American Gangster, which is a classic. These two work really well together. An amazing movie. It's almost 3 hours long, or it is 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel like it. What an amazing supporting cast, too. You will see a lot of actors you recognize in this movie. And just an absolutely phenomenal movie. Then we have Kingdom of Heaven. Another one of those types of movies that I like. Those medieval war, fight with swords and on horses and things like that. I absolutely love movies like this. And the battle scenes in this movie are great. The story wasn't as great as other movies like Troy and King Arthur, but the visuals were fantastic in this movie. Then we have The Departed, which in my opinion is another classic here. Second to no one cast. I mean, just look at those 4 names right on the front of the cover there. I mean, and that's not even all of them. When you look at the back and you see some more of those names, I mean, it's like, wow. Everyone wants to work with Martin Scorsese, and they probably read this script and were like, I need to be a part of this no matter what part I'm playing. Then we have Green Zone with Matt Damon, directed by Paul Greengrass. Matt Damon will pretty much do anything that Paul Greengrass is working on. Every actor's got their favorite directors to work with, and Paul Greengrass is Matt Damon's. And he's a great action director. I can't deny that. This movie was not as good as the Bourne movies and not as good as United 93. But still a very solid watch. Then we have Heat, which of course is another crime classic here with, again, look at the names on the front of the cover. And this is when they were in their prime. And they only had the one scene together in this movie because they hadn't worked together up until this point, which made this movie a huge deal. Michael Mann is really good at making a movie feel real. And this one feels extremely real. Then we have Hard Rain with Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater. Seems like a simple story, but oh my God, is it good. The visuals are great with the nonstop rain and flooding. Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater do a great job carrying this movie. I believe this was right after Christian Slater made Broken Arrow with John Travolta, which was another phenomenal movie. So, I mean, another great throwback to old school action right here. I miss those days. Then we have In Too Deep. One of my favorite movies growing up. Omar Epps, LL Cool J, Stanley Tucci. A great and powerful story about a cop going undercover and getting in too deep to where he doesn't know if he's a cop or a criminal anymore. Absolutely phenomenal story, well acted. You need to check this out if you haven't seen it before. Very happy to own that. Then we have Untraceable with Diane Lane. This came out the same exact day as Rambo 4. And me and my buddy were deciding whether to see this or Rambo. We went with Rambo, but I did buy this on DVD when it came out. And it's a phenomenal movie. Cyber... Well, I wouldn't call it cyber terrorism, cyber murder, I guess you can say. Great hook, great story, well acted. Nice to see Colin Hanks in a big role as well, so worth a watch. Then we have Identity with John Cusack. Amazing cast for this movie as well, and it's another one of those movies that I love where you don't know what's going on until the very, very end. And I'm not going to ruin this for you. Again, directed by James Mangold as well, who makes his movies amazing. Probably one of the best directors out there right now. But yeah, definitely need to check this out for sure if you haven't seen it before. Then lastly, we have Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Connelly. Great and powerful, emotional story. It deserved the Oscars that it got nominated for. Didn't win, I don't believe, because this was the same year that DiCaprio was nominated for The Departed. He was nominated for both movies, I believe. But yeah, it's a great movie. Worth checking out. Overall wise, I would say this is actually even better than The Departed. But, it didn't have Martin Scorsese directing it, so... But yeah, worth a watch. But that'll do it for this shelf. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I'm also over on Letterboxd. The link to that is over in the profile description of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, have a good one, guys.